We gotta talk about something. There's a ghost in this house.
What are you talking about?
Well, the other day I was making a cup of coffee. Cabinet shuts all by itself, and it wasn't the wind either. Every time I go to make a cup of coffee, I can't get my coffee cup. The K-cups are missing. I seen them suspended one time.
Wait. Hold on, be quiet. I see a ghost.
Oh, so you call me crazy, and now it's relevant because you see it.
Dude, it's right there!
Oh yeah, I do see it. Man, that is one stupid ghost. What are we gonna do about it? Well, keep your voice down. I don't want him to hear. Are we gonna call Ghostbusters?
No, dude, this is a gaming channel. We're gonna call Luigi. He's done this before. With a series as wide and expansive as the Mario series, one can expect there to be many spin-offs, which in Mario's case, there is indeed a lot of spin-offs, and one of those is Luigi's Mansion. The original Luigi's Mansion premiered on the GameCube as a launch title, and while the sales weren't quite up to the level of many other Mario titles, it was a title that a lot of people fell in love with, and to this day still has a very strong following. It wouldn't be until many years later that we saw a sequel on the Nintendo 3DS in the form of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. That game was then ported to the Switch and retitled Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, and that is the subject of today's video. The story on this one is very simple. It is a continuation of the first game, although you don't really need to have played the first game in order to enjoy it. The only thing you need to know is that in the first game, King Boo was trapped inside of a painting by Luigi, and now he's really angry. And so in the second game, King Boo escapes the painting that Luigi trapped him in, and decides that he is going to destroy the Dark Moon.
Seems like he wants to cause Luigi as much inconvenience as he can. Typical. By destroying the moon, though, he destroys the pacifying effect the moon has on the ghost. That's why the ghosts go crazy.
Yeah, they were being all friendly with Professor Egad before, but once that moon gets destroyed, the ghosts start acting like a bunch of savages, and they chase the poor guy into a bunker, and Luigi at this point has no idea what's going on. You know, he's just chilling on his lazy boy chair. He doesn't have a care in the world, but then Egad appears in his TV and he basically tells them they've got a major problem, and he sends Luigi to his bunker, and from there they get their ghost hunt started.
Luigi doesn't have much of a choice in the matter, because in order to get him to the bunker, Egad pixelates him and sends him through airwaves.
Yeah, so Luigi's not really given a chance to agree to this adventure. He's just kind of pulled into it. I guess he did such a good job in the first game that his service can't really be denied.
Yeah, Egad sees him, he's like, there's my guy. There's my guy.
So, on this adventure, it's a pretty simple objective. Since King Boo destroyed the Dark Moon and scattered the pieces all over Evershade Valley, Luigi is traveling through Evershade Valley trying to recollect all of these Dark Moon pieces so that the moon can be put back together and the ghosts can be pacified once again.
However, you won't find these pieces just lying around any place. They're heavily guarded.
So with that in mind, Luigi equips himself with the Poltergust 5000, clever name.
Glorified vacuum.
And in order to use the Poltergust 5000, Luigi must first flash them with his light in order to stun them so they can be sucked up. As well as the Dual Scream, which is basically a DS with EGAD on it that also serves as a phone. That's just great. I love that.
Yeah, since we're on the subject, EGAD does blow up his phone quite a bit. I got annoyed.
Although that is somewhat tolerable because Luigi has an absolutely awesome ringtone.
Yeah, the ringtone definitely makes up for it, but again, since we're on the subject, it's kind of an old person thing to blow up one's phone, don't you think?
I'm not going to lie, there was times where I just waited a while before answering it because the ringtone was so good.
Yeah, you definitely want to hear the whole take on that song, or melody. whatever you want to call it.
You also get this thing called the Dark Light device, which basically allows Luigi to find things that are normally hidden or to free things that are trapped in paintings. It creates this really colorful light that has that effect.
It's really, really funny when the dark light hits something in which spirit orbs are hiding, because it makes a very familiar and funny sound. It sounds like somebody just unloaded on screen. You're exercising the demons.
Yeah, it is kind of weird that every time spirit orbs come out of an object, it sounds like somebody's laying beef, I'm not gonna lie. No, we can't do this.
I'm sorry, I can't get the image out of my head. Okay, just stop it. Let's do it.
Okay, but seriously, getting down to business. Before we go any further, I just want to talk about how amazing this game's intro is. I mean, it basically just starts out with Egad having the time of his life with all of his little ghost friends, and then out of nowhere we see that King Boo has escaped, and he just flies up to the Dark Moon and breaks it. In this game, there is an interesting cast of characters. There is Luigi, there's Egad, there's King Boo, there's a bunch of different type of ghosts. There's Toad, and there's also one other, but I'm not going to talk about that one because that's a pretty big spoiler. I will say it's nice to get a game about Luigi because that doesn't happen very often. You know, the green sibling doesn't really get the spotlight too much.
Luigi has a lot to offer. It's good to see him in the spotlight once in a while.
As previously stated, the main premise of this game is to gather up all the Dark Moon pieces, and the gameplay loop reflects that. You're going to be spending a lot of your time either solving puzzles or sucking up ghosts in the game. The gameplay loop stays the same throughout, however, the puzzles do evolve pretty heavily. Most of them are fairly easy, but there are a few real head-scratchers in there.
The puzzles are definitely the strongest suit of the game. I think that you'll agree once you've played it, and if not, that's just my personal opinion.
While solving all these puzzles, the ones that always stand in your way are the ghosts. There will be several times throughout the game's levels where ghosts will pop up and try and prevent you from progressing, to try and prevent you from solving the puzzle and solving whatever the particular mission of that level is.
They're really good at being obstacles.
You could say that the ghost capturing is the most repetitive part of the game. It's not bad by any means. In fact, I think it's handled very well. However, you do it a lot throughout the game, and it doesn't really change any at its core level. Some of the ghosts change their behavior, like the greenies who get smarter and do things like disguise themselves as mummies and whatnot. So, there are little things that change the ghost capturing up, but by and large, the ghost capturing can get a little repetitive here and there, but it's very good nonetheless.
It is, and I don't really know how to explain it. It's repetitive, but I still have a good time playing. I still have fun. But like I said before, the puzzles are definitely the strongest suit of the game.
Yeah, the ghost capturing is repetitive, but not to a distasteful degree, at least not in my opinion. You'll notice that every mission in the game is usually a short little task given to you by Egad to get you closer to the Dark Moon piece. Whether it's chasing a ghost dog around for a key to a certain door or guiding Toad to safety, it's usually something that ultimately leads to you getting closer to the Dark Moon piece. All of the missions in the game are simple, and most of their length comes from puzzle solving. Throughout the game, there are 5 mansions Luigi explores in order to recover all the pieces of the Dark Moon. Their names are Gloomy Manor, Haunted Towers, Old Clockworks, Secret Mine, and Treacherous Mansion.
I find Old Clockworks to be the creepiest out of all of them.
Yeah, Old Clockworks has a real vibe to it.
Really nuclear winter sort of vibe.
Aside from the ghosts and the Dark Moon pieces, the collectibles in the game come down to one or two things. The first one is cash, which can come in many forms. You can find it as coins, gold bars, or just dollar bills, and this cash goes towards upgrading your equipment. The second one is gems that you'll find scattered throughout the area in various places.
Some can be tricky to find.
Each mansion has its own set of gems, and collecting them all won't get you much except for a big statue of Luigi.
At the end of the day, it's whether it's worth it to you or not. Maybe you want a digital conversation starter. I don't know.
One thing I really want to praise in this game are the boss fights. The boss fights are very well designed, they're very clever. Most of them have a really good atmosphere to them. You know, they're not super hard or anything, but I just really liked the feel of this game's boss fights. It has really nice ones.
Yeah, I agree, and let me just point out the last one. The last one is absolutely top tier.
Yes, but that's a spoiler, so I won't talk too much about that just yet, but what I will talk about is the old Clockworks boss fight. That one was just really good. I really liked the feel of that one. The first one was really cool too, because you're just fighting a giant spider, and a spooky game like this, I mean, come on, why wouldn't you fight a giant spider, right? It was really nice how the spider was just friendly and didn't even want to attack Luigi once it was freed. Moving on to graphics, it should be known that this game is not going to be cutting edge or anywhere near cutting edge. I mean, it's on the Switch, which is already a console that is great, but far behind in terms of hardware. And beyond that, this is a port of a 3DS game, which is a really old console. So this game is not going to be visually cutting edge by any degree, but as we've said in other videos, a game looking nice doesn't always rely on it being cutting edge. This game has a graphical style that is pleasant, even though it's not very advanced. The colors in the game, the characters' designs, looks nice. It might look a little dated to some, but nice. And they've done a good job updating it to HD. I should note that the model of Luigi in particular is very detailed. I mean, you can see the detail in his overalls and in the L on his hat.
You can actually tell that Luigi's overalls are sewn denim. That's awesome. But more importantly, I don't think the game's art direction calls for state-of-the-art graphics. I just don't.
Yeah, a game like Luigi's Mansion, like a lot of other Nintendo franchises, does just fine with the cartoony look. You don't really need Red Dead Redemption level graphics for this game. It's not what it calls for.
It would take all the charm out of a cartoon-esque character like Luigi.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, the graphics do a really good job of conveying an atmosphere in the game, from the rainy and dark tone of Gloomy Manor to the post-apocalyptic vibe of old Clockworks.
The feeling is absolutely real in this game, guys. The mansion scene, when I came in from the rain, I literally wanted to warm up by the fire. It was cozy, despite being creepy. Music is definitely not the strong point of the game, except for Luigi's ringtone on the DS. That's good. But other than that, the music seems mostly for exploration, and there's not truly anything legendary that really pops out to you. Not saying it's bad, but it's not extremely good either.
Yeah, most of the music tracks were fine, but kind of bland. I would definitely dance to that DS ringtone, though. That's pretty good. The voice acting in the game is nothing special either, because there really isn't much of it to go around. Most of it is Banjo-Kazooie style gibberish, and what is there is usually just a few words here and there. There's no complex dialogue in the game. That's all with text boxes. Polterpup, a ghost dog that runs around and keeps stealing keys from Luigi. He also can serve as a revival for Luigi. There's these little golden bones that you find throughout the levels, and if you find one of them, then the Polterpup will come in and save your butt when you get a KO.
You'll know you have one because an icon of a golden bone will appear by your HP, your heart points.
You might notice that some of these missions could also be a little bit repetitive because some of them happen multiple times. For example, there's a Polterpup mission where he'll steal a key from Luigi and then you have to chase him all around the mansion looking for it. That happens several times throughout the game. And then there's also several times where you have to rescue toads and guide them back to safety. easy. Both of those things happen a lot. However, it's usually really good puzzles when they do happen, so I don't really mind that kind of repetitiveness because it's a lot of fun, to be honest.
And a tip for the Polterpup missions. You want to find the little rascal? Just use the dark light to find his little paw prints and track him down.
So yeah, that's the basic gameplay loop of the game. Solve some puzzles, catch some ghosts, gather dark moon pieces, and fight some bosses while you're doing it. After you get through all 5 mansions and get to the very end, you actually do, spoiler alert here, if you don't want to be spoiled about the ending, click off now. Yeah, okay, you've been warned. After you go through all 5 mansions, you actually do rescue Mario. That's right, he's in the game. Luigi gets to save his brother.
Looks like King Boo needed a little insurance policy. It didn't work.
Yeah, after defeating the final boss, you will now have control of all 5 Dark Moon pieces, which means the ghosts are pacified, all of the toads are rescued, Mario is rescued, and all is right with the world. The game has a happy ending with everyone being happy and healthy, and Luigi decides to keep the Polterpup as a pet. After you finish the game, there's also some post-game content. Every mansion has a certain number of boos that you can capture, and if you collect all of the boos in that mansion, you'll unlock a secret mission. Oh, and there's also the Scare Scrapper mode, which will give you some multiplayer action, so if that's your thing, I'm sure you'll be pleased with that.
I know, I certainly will enjoy it.
And yeah, that's basically the game. That's Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. For a port of a 3DS game, they did a really good job on this game, and honestly, it had a lot more substance to it than I thought it was going to. This game lasted a fair amount of time, and I had a lot of fun playing it. I know that it's probably not most people's favorite Luigi's Mansion. Most people say the first one is, but I think that most Nintendo fans, and certainly most Mario fans, would agree that it's worth playing, and I think it is worth getting. There has been a lot of buzz around the fact that the game was priced at $60, and a lot of people think that's not fair because it's a remaster of a Nintendo 3DS game, and I suppose I can kind of understand that point of view. A lot of games are not released at that price point when they're simply remasters, but I can say if you've never played this game before, you are going to be getting your money's worth. There is a lot of enjoyment to be had here. If you have played the game before, well, it's up to you to decide if you like it enough to want to get it again, but if you've never played this game before, I would definitely recommend getting it.
So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We sure had a good time making it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And, if you're in the conversation mood, let us know what you'd like to see in Luigi's Mansion 4.
Wow, that is a good conversation starter. Let's talk about that right now.
Yeah, just, start a conversation in the comments.
I can't do it on this video, obviously, but maybe in the future.
I mean, if that's a video you guys would like to see, let us know. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.